Good morning. Welcome to What I Pretend to Know. I'm Julie Hart with Hart Media Group. What I Pretend to Know is about learning from those who truly do, celebrating the power of female connection and finding inspiration in the shared experience of women.
Like a shooting star is made to fly through space. Dreams of airs waiting their chase. And I don't know, but I bet you one day you're gonna be a dream catcher.
Do you ever feel like you have a whole closet full of clothes with nothing to wear? I would love to help you refresh your wardrobe. Go see Michelle at District 23 Boutique, where fashion meets fun, purpose, and your perfect palette. They carry women's clothes, shoes, accessories, and gifts, and they offer one-on-one color analysis and styling sessions to help you look and feel your best. Plus, every purchase supports cochlear implant recipients around the world. Visit them in Springfield or online at district23.com. District 23, where fashion meets fun, purpose, and your perfect palette. Welcome to What I Pretend to Know with Julie Hart, Hart Media Group. I'm so glad you've joined us today. Today I have a special guest with me who happens to be a relation of mine, my younger sister, Sarah Jacobs. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good.
Why are you laughing?
Just having. Yep. Good.
Because this is funny.
Yes.
So I had to drag Sarah here this morning. She wasn't going to come, but I promised that I wouldn't drill her too hard, so I'm not going to. So Sarah is visiting us from Ohio. Sarah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Sarah Jacobs. I'm an assistant professor of education at Marietta College in Marietta, Ohio. We move a lot due to my husband's job in higher education. So I've lived in lots of different locations: Missouri, Kentucky, Illinois, Ohio, and I have two daughters, Lucy and Hattie.
Very fun. They're pretty awesome. They're my nieces. They're
nice girls.
They're nice girls. And she just got a new puppy. Tell me about the puppy.
We got a new Shih Tzu puppy. His name is Winston.
Yes.
And he has a big brother named Jefferson who is not terribly pleased about the fact that we brought home a puppy. But we've been introducing Winston to all the Illinois dog relations, and so far so good.
Yes. We got to introduce him to Franklin, my dog, and Franklin does not like other dogs. And so this was special. I'm excited that they actually got along and actually enjoyed each other.
Yeah, there was some question of whether Franklin thought Winston was maybe his puppy.
Right.
Because they look very similar.
They look alike, and so it was like, this is your father. Yes.
It's not.
Yeah,
But
it's not, but I don't know. Like brother from another mother,
yes,
I think.
they got along very well.
I think, yeah. So tell us, you are from here, obviously, because I'm from here. But tell us your story about being from here and school and all that, and what led you to Ohio.
So I went to Millikan University in Decatur, which was a great experience.
But you graduated from?
Springfield High School.
Woohoo, Springfield High.
Go Solons. So I went to Millikan. I graduated. I came back and started teaching at Springfield High, which was a wonderful experience. And at that time, I met my husband, who was working for the Illinois State Board of Education. And his boss was offered the presidency at Murray State University and offered to take Josh along. Josh and I were engaged at the time, so we ended up moving first to Kentucky to Murray State University, go Racers, and from there we ended up at Central Methodist University in Missouri and now Marietta College in Ohio, and my husband works for Antioch University in the Coalition for Common Good. So we have been all over the Midwest, lived in multiple states, and experienced really a different kind of town than what I grew up in, because Springfield, while it's not Chicago, is still a city and with lots of people and big schools. And where I have lived from there on out was towns of 30,000, 2,000, and then back to around 30,000 again. And so it's a much different experience than my childhood growing up.
Yeah, and I was not happy with you moving even to Kentucky. I remember because I had babies at the time, and I kept saying to Josh, you guys were engaged, you're not taking my sister to Kentucky. Do you remember me saying
Yes,
that?
I do remember
I
you
mean,
saying
like
that.
over and over again, like, you're not taking her to Kentucky. You're not taking. And now I give up, like, whatever. I don't know where she is most of the time. I think the hardest part for me about you being in Ohio is just the drive. Like, there's no easy way to get there.
I wish for anything that there was a flight.
Yeah,
and
like
there's not.
that. If we could get on, like we always say, like, okay, could you just like move to Dallas, or could you move to
It'd be easier.
California or something, or even Florida or whatever? Because then we could just get on a flight and be there. So that is probably the trickiest part, I think, is that it's like a drive and we have to go there. And I'll be honest, I didn't really understand where Ohio was. You know, like you look at the map and I didn't really understand what Ohio was until you moved there.
Yeah.
And it's so far east.
Well, and we are southeastern Ohio, so we're on the border of West Virginia and Ohio. So we are truly in Appalachia, which is a whole nother culture, really, than when I was in Kentucky in the South, which was a lot more like Southern Illinois.
Right.
And then Missouri had its own
Flavor.
But Appalachia is its own culture.
Right,
unto
and that
itself.
I think makes it so much even further east, because we get to Ohio and then we go through like, do you go through Cincinnati? I can't remember. Go by it. You can
Columbus
kind of
is
go
where
by
you-
it, and
you-
then
you
we go
can
to
choose.
Columbus.
You're an adventure, really.
Yeah, and then you go to Columbus, and you're like, oh, we're there, and then like,
You're
no,
not there at all.
you gotta keep going like 2 more hours. It's like, woo, she lives far away.
Yeah, the strange thing about where I'm located is, depending on who you are, it's called a different region of the nation. So, you know, if you're from Georgia, it's north. And
Okay.
if you're from New York, it's south. And if you're from Illinois, it's pretty far east. But if you're from a coastal, it's considered west, because it was the first of westward expansion.
So is it considered the Midwest?
Our part of Ohio, I think, we call it the Mid-Ohio Valley. I think we could safely call it Appalachia. I don't think it falls under the... Yes, it's part of the Midwest.
In my brain, it was part of the Midwest.
So it's part of the westward expansion. It's the westernmost point when we started to move into what we call West back then and is now called the Midwest.
Yeah.
We were the outpost. We were the farthest anybody had gone.
Okay.
And then we hopped on rivers and went from there, or got on Conestoga wagons and continued west. So I don't know. It is a little bit of a, who do we belong to?
Yeah, so I'm still learning. I'll still drive there, and I do, and I'm driving there next weekend, so it's fine. But it is kind of one of those anomalies. Like, I've been trying to figure out exactly where it is and how it fits into the map and all the thing. I think just because Illinois is stuck in the middle, like, to me, it's clearly Midwest.
Yes,
so
clearly.
Okay, so Sarah and I are sitting here, and I'm wondering whether we were saying this. I'm wondering if our voices sound similar. Mr. Producer back there, do our voices sound similar?
I mean, kind of. Not
Kind
too
of.
Crazy.
Okay, so you can tell the difference between us.
Yeah, well, I grew up with my mom, so.
Okay, well, yeah, I am your mom.
the
Okay,
difference.
so when I call Sarah on the phone, have you ever had your phone, like you've called and you've said hello, and it says hello, it's like your voice reverberates back to you, and you realize the connection's bad? So sometimes when I call Sarah and she says hello, I think it's me saying it back, and vice versa, right, Sarah?
That absolutely happens.
So sometimes I can't even tell the difference between my own voice and her voice. Now, this is what I think. I think my voice is lower than yours.
I've always thought mine was lower.
I think.
But-
it's lower.
Oh, you think Aunt Sarah's lower?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe theirs is lower.
Mine's lower.
But either way, I hope we're not too confusing on this podcast, because I think, and then you throw Jody, who's our older sister, in there. And I don't think she sounds as much like us, but then there are times that
She does sound like Aunt Diane.
she
though.
does more sound like our aunt. Yeah. So it's very funny. I know my mom can't tell us apart on the phone at all. She'd be
No.
like, "Oh, I thought I was talking to Sarah." And I think I just did a pretty good mom
That was
impression.
actually pretty spot on. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. So so I have fun questions for you, Sarah. Okay. So, and these I know these answers because she's my best friend, but I'm going to go ahead and answer them. Okay. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke all day long.
Okay.
Diet Coke in particular.
Okay. So but this is the real question. And again, I'm going to know the answer, but I'm still going to say it. Bottle, can, fountain.
Okay, so this has actually changed for me over time.
What?
Yes. So
maybe I don't know.
well, it was always I mean, it's always going to be a good fountain Diet Coke,
Right.
first and foremost.
Right.
Because if your mix is on, then
Correct.
that's a delight. After that, I went through a bottle stage. Now I'm
You
I'm a
did?
can drinker, right?
Yeah.
But I went through a bottle stage where all of a sudden I thought bottled Diet Cokes were the thing, and then I got to feeling guilty because I knew how much better the cans were for recycling, and so I went back to
So
cans.
weird. I can honestly say I've maybe twice in my life had a bottle of Diet Coke. I can't even think of times.
You know, your taste buds change as you grow older.
Yeah. Now, for me, it's fountain all the way, and if you're watching, we have Diet Cokes right here from McDonald's. I think I would say a close second or right there is Chick-fil-A's.
Oh, 100%.
Almost better sometimes.
Almost better sometimes. Yeah.
And it might have to do with the ice.
It's probably to do with the
I
ice.
think the ice
the soft ice.
Spot on.
It's almost aerated.
Yes.
The ice is aerated.
Yes.
Which is
Now, every morning though, I do get a McDonald's Diet Coke before I go to teach, and I'm usually on the phone with Sarah.
And there is a difference between an Ohio Diet Coke and an Illinois Diet Coke.
It's a price difference.
It is the price difference.
It makes me so mad. I call Sarah most days or half days on the way to school. And usually I'm running through the drive-thru. I don't know if my son knows this. And I order my Diet Coke and I go through, and how much is it, Sarah?
You're at 207.
$2.07 for a Diet Coke. And every time Sarah's like, mine's cheaper.
$1.92.
Like, what the heck? $1.92 for hers, Mr. Producer back there. $2.07.
It's called taxes.
It's awful.
Welcome
It's
to Illinois.
ridiculous. So then, okay, so this is funny. So I teach 5th grade, as you know. And the last couple days of school, I bring my Diet Coke in, and then usually in the middle of the day, I get another Diet Coke from like the fountain at our school or like a Diet Coke can or something. And one of my little boys said, Mrs. Hart, how much money do you think you've spent on Diet Coke at McDonald's this year? And I'm like, leave me alone.
This isn't math class.
Like I teach English. I don't know that math. And I was like, I don't want to talk about this, especially if my husband's not around. If he's the one that sees the debit card. It's terrible. Oh my gosh. Okay. Chocolate or like chewy sweets?
It's a toss up between dark chocolate
Oh.
and Twizzlers, but
Oh,
it's
dark
not.
chocolates.
They're very specific. Very specific.
Okay, so
What would yours be?
you don't know?
I mean, I assume it would be chocolate,
Chocolate and caramel.
right?
Chocolate with caramel.
But have you done the dark chocolate caramel squares?
Oh, 100%.
Ghirardelli?
Yes, 100%. That's it.
those are the
Yeah,
thing.
but I like chocolate and caramel.
Yeah.
I don't love a Skittle.
Mhm.
I don't love like what are those? What is that? The squishy tart candies that the
Sweet
kids
tarts?
No.
Oh.
They're sour, like
Sour
Sour
Patch
Patch Kids
Patch
and
Kids.
things like that. Ugh, my daughter loves those.
The
Ugh.
Nerds clusters are really
Ner-
popular.
oh,
too,
the
with
Nerds clusters
Those
are
are
the
so
yes. My
kids-
son is
the
back
kids
there saying
love the
"Eh,
Nerd
So
clusters."
gross. I'm like, This is disgusting. And Kate's like, well, nerds, people didn't like nerds anymore. And they were brilliant. It's brilliant marketing because then you took the nerds and rolled it in goo. I don't know. And then all of a sudden it's good. I don't know.
I know people, adults, who are just addicted to them.
Yeah. So that's not me. I have my husband at night, every night on the couch, brings me a Ghirardelli square.
Yeah, those are the best.
They're the best.
They're the
They're
best.
really, really good. And they didn't have those when I was little, but I'll tell you what they did have. Number one, they had Caramello, which is pretty good. But this is what they had. And my husband and I talk about this all the time. I used to have to sell candy for my
Yes.
baseball team, softball team,
Yes.
right?
Boxes.
And the boxes of chocolates.
Yeah.
And they had the chocolate and caramel
They
candy bars. And it
did.
just said caramel on it.
I remember those.
Yeah, it just said caramel on it. That tasted the same as the
did.
Ghirardelli squares.
It does. So maybe it's harkening back to our childhood a little bit. and that's
I
why we
feel like
them.
that's the same.
It is the same.
Okay, I thought it was. Okay. So tell me your favorite book. Now, Sarah is a professor of English.
Professor of education, but my master's is in literature.
Correct. Sorry, I didn't want to get
Well,
the
I
titles
can
wrong.
get myself in trouble if I claim something I'm
Mhm.
not.
Eventually, she's going to be a doctor. And she'll be like, you have to call me doctor.
Not the kind that can help anybody.
Okay, so favorite book.
Pride and Prejudice.
That's of all times. Okay,
That's of all time.
cool. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
What have I read over again the most times? Probably Anne of Green Gables.
Aw, that's so great.
It's such a sweet series.
The movie's so good too.
Well, Gilbert.
Gilbert is so wonderful.
Oh,
It's
Gilbert.
so good. Okay, so that's favorite. Okay, best movie. Favorite movie.
While You Were Sleeping.
Aw, that one's good. Lucy.
Lucy. My daughter's name is Lucy.
Lucy. I love that. Okay, good. Okay, favorite vacation spot.
Well, that depends.
Right.
That depends.
Right.
But, I mean, New Smyrna Beach is our favorite place to go as a
that's what
family.
don't tell too many people that because we don't want
yeah.
them to know.
Which is
It's
in
the
California.
Yes, and it's the shark bite capital of the world. You don't want to go there.
You don't want to go there.
Nobody else should go
I
there.
told Lucy that, and this year and she didn't know.
Yes, my daughter Lucy did not
I
know
didn't
that
know
it was the
that.
shark bite capital of the world, and all of a sudden she got a little
That was my bad.
nervous. Way to go,
Listen,
Jack.
they're little sharks. They're little sharks.
Little sharks.
And they just want to nibble. They're not gonna.
Baby
There's
sharks.
nothing. But no, yes, we don't even. We're not gonna tell you where it is because it's hidden treasure.
But my favorite vacation of all time was with my husband, and that was in Antigua.
Oh yes. Okay. I thought you were gonna say Dominican.
I do like the Dominican a lot. We've been there. I've been there 3 times to the
Okay.
Dominican Republic, and I really do enjoy the Dominican.
But Antigua.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is that? Is that by Jamaica? Where is that?
It's surrounded by water.
So you don't. So you don't know.
I took a plane, Julie.
You don't know either.
It's southerly.
Okay, so that reminds me.
Julie, can you tell me where?
I thought you would know.
I mean, I do, but I can't give it to you in
know.
latitude and longitude.
I know, but I thought you would have some kind of idea.
It's an island. It's in the middle.
Well, because it reminds me, because I'm going to Mexico in 2 weeks, and I thought, oh, we're going to Mexico. I've been to Cancun. That's so cool.
Funny.
Like, I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to Cancun, or it's got to be near Cancun. I've been to Cancun, blah, blah, blah. So that's where we're going. And then I find out, no, I'm going to Cabo, and Cabo is completely on the other side of California, like over in the Pacific. I had
Which
no
I
idea.
didn't know.
Did you know?
I didn't know. No, I didn't know. It's
no
embarrassing. It's
idea.
mortifying. I'll admit it.
I had no idea. I'm
to-
like, and I didn't know, and that's still Mexico too, I guess, because
Come
Mexico.
to find out that country goes all the way across.
Yeah, I thought, well, then isn't that California? Nope, it's Mexico. I had no idea, so I'm going somewhere in Mexico that's not at all what I thought was Mexico, but cool.
All new water.
Yeah, so that'll be totally different than I thought. I'll let you know how that goes. Oh my gosh, such a nut. Okay. So what I want to ask you is you're a professor of education, and I'm obviously a teacher, but you teach teachers how to teach.
Yes.
Okay. So, what is your main thing that you try to focus on, your main advice, your one thing that you really try to get across to your teachers that you're trying to teach?
Some of them come to us and they are just naturals. They get up in front of a classroom and they are the leader from the second they step up in front of the classroom. There's no question about their authority. They have that. But there are the majority of people who want to become teachers, that's not innate. They love children, they love the content, they know they want to be teachers, but having that presence in front of a classroom is not as natural as it was for you, as it was for me.
And that seems so strange to me because I wanted to be a teacher from the time I was, 3 years old. And I taught Sarah in our basement many times,
Right.
and, taught all my stuffed animals and taught my mom and all the things. And I knew how to be up there
Yeah.
and be a teacher. So
And
I
we
thought that
teach-
everybody that wanted to be a teacher would know.
They really don't. And we teach them all the other things. We teach them how to assess, how to help with interventions, how to do explicit instruction, how to really break down math and reading for kids. Like, we teach all those things, and that's for everybody. Everybody needs
Sure,
that.
everybody needs that
Everybody
because that's
needs
the
that.
kind of stuff you
But
don't know.
the hardest thing to teach, but the thing that we have to spend a lot of energy on, is how to be a presence in front of children so that the children feel safe. And we have to connect those dots for them, because you cannot be unsure of yourself at the front of a classroom, because then the children feel that. And so there's behavior problems because of it, but also they just don't feel as safe if you don't.
Right.
You
You
don't
have to be
look like you
confident.
know
Like,
what you're
you have to
doing.
be like the confident mom.
Correct.
Right? It's like when there's a storm and the storm is coming in and your kids are scared. You might be scared, but don't let on.
Right.
Right?
And that's the thing that is very hard to teach. But if we didn't teach it, we wouldn't have enough teachers.
Okay. So there's not enough teachers that are natural.
There are people who are natural, but a lot of them are choosing to do
not
do
teach.
professions where they work with adults.
Right.
And so they're wonderful in front of a boardroom. They're wonderful in marketing. They're wonderful. And a lot of times I'll look at people in that major and go, oh my gosh, they would have been an incredible teacher.
Right.
But they don't have the passion. You have to love it. You absolutely
And you have to be
love
willing
it.
to sacrifice some things
Absolutely.
financially
So,
and all the things.
If we have someone who doesn't have it, right? But they are dedicated to it and love children, then you have to just get them in front of classrooms as much as possible and then model things for them. I have pulled a student who was teaching and they were working in small groups for a moment, and I literally went up to the front of the class, whispered in his ear, okay, I need you to walk around this classroom and monitor each of these groups. I said, it's very tempting to get stuck behind this desk at the front while they work, but you need to be making yourself available and monitoring
It's
things.
fascinating
And so
to
some
me.
of those, for some people, that is completely natural, and why wouldn't I do that? And for some people, you have to teach it. And it's the same thing as anything that someone is, there are basketball players out there who were born being able to dribble, shoot, and dunk.
Sure.
And then there are basketball players who had to be taught every single thing they know. And sometimes they end up to be completely equal basketball players by the time they're at their peak, because one is put in so much work to
Right.
become that.
Right.
But it doesn't, not everyone is innately good in front of a group.
Okay. That's really interesting, and I love that you're willing to then at least hone that skill in those, and at least those people have the heart for it.
Yes.
Because I think that's the thing, man. You got to. Teaching is all about the heart because it's not for the faint of heart.
It is not.
And do you have students that don't make it through?
Oh, yes. Yeah. We have students who, and most of the time, what happens is they realize it's not what they thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times the planning is
Yeah.
they want to show up and just do some. Just I'm here
Yeah.
and I'm teaching. Or a lot of them have worked in the childcare industry, and so they are okay managing a room, but when it comes down to actually instructing and teaching, they find that this is not exactly what I hoped it would be. At the same time, we have a lot of people who went into business and marketing and get 2 years in and go, I think I want to be a teacher. And then you have to really shift gears.
Well, our family is known for the,
a proclivity for.
the getting into the world and then going, hey, I want to be a teacher. We have how many teachers? Let's see. We have Uncle
Should we
Jeff.
name-
Yeah, we have Uncle Jeff.
Well, let's do that generation then.
Okay.
Uncle Jeff, Aunt Diane, and Mom.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Okay.
And then Jody, you, me, Susie,
Yep.
Emily,
Yeah.
Jane's going to be.
Yep.
Yeah. And then our great grandmother.
And then we
was.
have some great, So what is that, like 12 or
I
something?
I think I was
12 or 13.
9 maybe.
And so, like, every child, I know I did this to Jack, right? Jack, like, are you sure you don't want to be a teacher, right?
Yeah.
And I've said it like 5 times. Are you sure you don't want to be a teacher? And he's been in my classroom. He's actually a great teacher. He'd be a great teacher.
a lot of the same skills it takes to be excellent at other industries
Yes.
are the same skills it takes to be a really good teacher. And so a lot of times we'll have folks who graduate with what we call an ed studies degree. So they did all the coursework to learn about kids and about how to work with kids, but we don't end up taking them through licensure because they don't want to be a teacher. They get hired very easily
I bet.
because they say, I've been working in classrooms for 4 years.
Right.
And people recognize, well, that's not particularly easy thing to do.
Well, and Jack tends to use his teaching skills through coaching.
Absolutely.
Coaches soccer, and I think that gives him his fill, right, son?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. It feels very similar. It's a lot of planning, it's a lot of implementing, it's a lot of loving on the kids.
If you're going to
it's a
do
lot
it
of-
really well, yeah.
Yeah. So, you said field study. I know this is. I don't know yet because I'm watching Jane go through the SIUE program, and I know she's just now getting into the observation stage. But I know it's so much more field heavy than it was when I went through Eastern.
Absolutely is.
But you've told me in Ohio, like the
first semester, freshman
the
year.
first semester, like Jane, that is not the case. Like Jane is in her junior year. Now I think she has to have 40 hours maybe field experience before she student teaches.
So state of Ohio requires 100 hours before you student teach.
Insane.
We land, this is incredible, but we land somewhere between 200 and 300 hours before they go into student teaching.
That's amazing. I mean, they're ready.
They should, and yet they still have room to grow, as you do as a first year teacher, second year teacher, third year teacher even.
Yes.
But yeah, and so what's nice about putting it out there super early is some people recognize, because you can go pretty deep into a program and if you don't go into the field and think you want to do it
first semester.
if you go in and you go, oh, this is horrid, I don't want to
Yes.
do this,
Yes.
then they can make those decisions early on in their career.
Right. Because for me, like at Eastern, I think my junior year, I went into the classroom for like an hour for 6 weeks, and then I was student teaching.
Yeah, so it's so different. I tell my freshmen, you can do anything but sit and observe. You are not an observer in this classroom. You are. I always use the phrase we use with our children growing up. I said, you're going to be helpful, not a handful.
Yes.
And so, their phones have to be in their backpacks. They can't be distracting. And so I literally make them stand up and practice, like, what would you do to walk around a room?
Right.
What would you do to help? Let's name some things you could help do that would be ethical uses of someone who's... And in Ohio, we are not allowed to be in the classroom as observers unless we have a substitute license.
I think that's... it's cool. I think it's wise, and I think it's cool.
Our freshmen and our sophomore candidates, generally speaking, are not going to be in a sub situation. No. And, there's some pros and cons there. But I do like the fact that we can confidently say that our kids have been background checked and are safe for the
Yeah,
children in the
that's
schools.
good. That's good. I like that too. Yeah, that's so interesting. I would say that student teaching for me, I learned a lot at Eastern. It was a great education program.
Great program.
Fantastic. But really, student teaching is where I learned how to be a teacher. And so I think the more you're in the classroom, the better.
Absolutely.
Because it's you just have to get in there and do it.
And we have entire fields that are dedicated to tutoring kids one-on-one to help them learn to read. And then other ones where you go and work with OTs, PTs, and speech teachers.
Yep.
And so letting them completely understand what the schools are doing,
Yep.
all the ways we support kids when we're in the schools.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing with us, and I appreciate you coming in and visiting and sharing your expertise with us.
You're welcome.
Me dragging you in. I hope that you'll come back and do something else, another fun topic.
Yes.
We have plenty. We can get on the phone and be there for hours
Yeah.
at times.
With a Diet Coke in
With a
hand.
Diet Coke, usually. Sometimes we're like both cleaning and talking, or both driving and talking, or something. And sometimes we can't get to each other for days, which is hard. But
Especially when we're in school.
yeah, when we're in school, the summer is easier. So anyway, I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful day. And what I pretend to know is very little. So thanks for coming and sharing with me.
Like a